did not write the birth. The term develop would probably be the best. Assembled all the pieces, perform in it, and produce it each year. I perform 3 monologues in the show that originate in the writings of the author Frederick Buechner, Pulitzer-nominated writer, pastor, theologian. And it was when I first read this material as an actor by trade and a person of faith as well. I'm always aware and having my eyes and ears open for material that might fit a certain niche, and this did, and it really struck me the depth of the characters that he writes. It's the innkeeper, wise man, and shepherd, and there was actually meat on the bones of these people for the first time. You know, there was we've all seen dozens to hundreds of Christmas pageants and plays and things, and this was a treatment of the story and of the characters involved in the story that had a depth and richness to it I'd never seen, and so it really just became wanting to perform that. So created a production around those pieces. 6 stools on a stage and a few guitars and a drum and 7 of us, but there's no props. Otherwise, there's no set. It truly is, in terms of theater, the purest kind of form. I mean, it's us, whether successfully or not, one night to the next, trying to get an audience to envision a thing in front of them that's not really there. Okay. So that's what you will visually see. You know, I'm as compelled by the material as the audience sometimes is, and what's beautiful about our the physical convention of the show is we're out there too. So I'm watching the other elements of the play proceed just like the audience is, and participating and enjoying it just as well, and being ministered to by it. We have live music in it that is original to the show, and it's beautiful, and it's very acoustic and stripped down, and I enjoy hearing them play. There's very talented people in this show. I love the words of Frederick Buechner, and so when I'm not speaking, there's one other actor in the show who has a monologue that's from Buechner that isn't character-based but thematically sort of sets up where we head, and I love hearing those words, and honestly I love performing these characters. I mean, it's not often you get the opportunity, and in this case it really is just happenstance that it's faith-oriented, but that you really get the opportunity to portray as an actor characters who are so rich and so have such depth to them. The innkeeper, for example, I mean, you watch him and it's not what a great night that was, it's I did something awful and I have to live with that, and I'm running from that. And you can imagine someone has just asked him to tell the story and he doesn't want to, you know, but he's going to, because he has to live with what he's done. For us, the birth is Christmas in 3 dimensions, you know, these are real characters, and we forget that, you know. To us, the innkeeper is, well, there's no room at the end, go on out, as opposed to, well, what was he experiencing, and now what does he feel? Because what's cool about when you hear his speech in particular, it could be the next day, it could be 10 years later. You know, he's carrying this with him. It is that essence of theater, which is to be able to just open the box and do something, you know, and have people be compelled and drawn in. A story I tell is a couple years ago after a performance, I'm walking back through the space and there's a couple still sitting there, and you know, the house is cleared out, all the actors have left, or the performers have left, and there's a couple still sitting there, and they're personal friends of mine, and so I walked up and said, you know, you guys okay? And they were just still kind of reflecting, and he said, I am the innkeeper, you know, and it's that kind of thing that I'm like, well, cool. I mean, not great, but yeah, you've identified something, and these characters are resonating, and you know, that's awesome. But we really wanted to reach out to the churches in the region, because we really believe we have something special to offer, and you know, wanted them to be able to share in that too, and just, you know, broaden the audience and see who we can pull in, and because what we've seen is, if we can get people through the door, we've got them, you know, and they're there, and they're going to be present and be aware of it. But our show is such a unique experience, it's hard to articulate. So, for instance, we've just this year done a pastor's night where we invited pastors and ministry leaders in the region to a preview. It was totally free, and we actually gave them material that they can use in their churches, and like posters and digital files and things like that. We're performing this year at the Duke Energy Theater in Uptown Charlotte, part of Spirit Square, and dates are December 12th through 19th. We are doing a celebration night December 17th at 6:30, and that's a performance of the show with a talk back with the cast, followed by a concert by, she's now a member of the troupe, but wrote 2 of the songs, and local singer-songwriter Sara DeShields. So it's going to be a really exciting night.
Standing on the edge of evening, waiting for the winds to change. It's been this way for a while now, but tonight the stars are rearranged. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Come to the center as the earth begins to hum. Everything's coming alive tonight. Oh, it has all just begun. Come on, run, run, run to the eye of the storm, where all creation calls his name, Emmanuel. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. This night, oh, it changes everything, and the very air has made us drunk with love.